How are we doing, everyone? Hope you're well, and thank you for joining me for another video. Still down the day ticket on the Monday, and I'm still in the stump peg. This video, it's a viewer request, and the viewer in question is called Mark Westbury. You did ask for this ages ago, mate, and I'm really sorry I didn't put your name down, so I'm getting around to it today. And he's asked for, can you use cockles? Wow, that was a fish in the background, was it, or was that a duck? Probably a duck. He's asked, can you do a video using cockles? Yes, I can. There's also a viewer who's also asked, can you use mussels? So I'm going to sort of drop both into this video because they fall under the same category. I've actually got a jar of each, as you'll have seen from the thumbnail, and I've thrown like a wild card in myself, which is tuna. How I think this is going to work is I'm going to put it in bags of this fox armour mesh stuff and then somehow herring it to the rigs in question. But let me spin you around, show you where I am, what I'm doing, try and explain what I think is going to happen, and let's see how we go on this one. So where am I? I'm still where I started this morning. I've made 2 videos in this peg already. It's called the stump peg, and they've both been successful. So let's hope this afternoon that this one's another successful video. The conditions have changed, I think, for the better, to be honest. It's become overcast. There's a little bit of a wind on the lake, so there's a ripple coming on it, which is not, it's a good thing. I prefer a lake with a ripple on than a flat, calm one. The temperature's dropped a little bit, hence why I've got a jacket on now. If this is your first video, it won't mean anything to you that I've got a jacket on, but the previous video I didn't, because it was nice and warm. The water temperature. Okay, the water temperature, that is reading 13 degrees. In the last video it got up as high as 13.8, and when I put the thermometer in to begin with, it read 8. So 13 degrees in February, and take that, overcast with the wind on. Yeah, it's and I'm in a good peg to be on in the lake, so everything's in my favour in this video. How it's going to go, I don't know. What we're going to do, like I say, this is a double viewer request, and I've thrown a wild card in. The original viewer, Mark, like I say, apologies again, mate, for taking so long to get around to this. He's asked, can you do a video using cockles? So yesterday while I was out, I managed to pick up a jar. They are pickled. Whether that's an issue or not, I don't know, but I've had a real hard time finding these. But these awful looking things. So yeah, cockles. That's going to be fished on one rod for the duration of the video. Another viewer who's asked to remain anonymous, which is absolutely fine. They've asked for mussels. Again, these are pickled because they come from the same place, and they look just as vile as the cockles, to be honest with you. And then I've thrown in, as, do you know, I've got a third rod, and it's not fair to have 2 on one, 1 on the other. We're going to try fish tuna as hook baits. Okay, the rig in question is an IQD rig, £20 IQ2, down to the chod hook. And I've got a micro ring swivel. I'm hoping, and this is only hoping, that I'm going to put some bait floss through that, and then this stuff here, which is fox armour mesh. I've never used it before, but it's basically, it's like PVA that doesn't melt. It's a mesh. It's a protective mesh. I think it's designed for sort of crayfish proofing your baits and fishing bread and stuff, it says on the website. I don't know, but basically I'm going to put a load of them in that and make a small ball, a load of them in that and make a small ball. I'm going to find a tin opener, because if I don't, the tuna's going to be a bit of a washout to start with, isn't it? And then I'm going to try to do that as well. And then I'm going to bait floss them onto the micro ring swivel. And that's what we're going to fish. I mean, I'm not confident in this. I'm confident with where I am, the conditions, etc., being on fish. But I'm not so sure about any of this. This is all new. The whole lot's new to me. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm going to take you through the rod setup, because I've been told once I open those cockles and mussels, they're not particularly very nice smelling. So yeah, I don't really want to be. I want to get as much done before I have to open them as possible, basically. So the rod setup hasn't changed at all, but in case you're new, it's £15 KORDA subline as a main line, down to a length of dart matte tungsten tubing, down to a KORDA run sleeve, size 8 quick change swivel, and a 3-ounce gripper lead. All 3 rods are going to be fished the same. On this occasion, I am not fishing any paste on my leads. Okay, if you're new, I always fish paste on my leads now. I have done for the last few videos I've made, and I'm going to continue. But for the sake of this one, I'm not, because I purely want just that armoured ball of fish out in the lake with nothing else around it as an attractant. I have put pellets out in the previous video I've done, but I'm pretty sure they will have either been eaten by the fish, broken down, or that bloody thing flying around has nicked the others. So as far as I'm concerned, there isn't anything out in the lake in front of me other than what we're going to put on the rigs as the hook baits. So I'm going to open these up, look for a tin opener, get everything set as much as possible, and then bring you back when it's time to cast out some cockles, mussels and tuna. Yeah, another random one. Anyway, let's see how we go. Unfortunately, I managed to find a tin opener in the van, so we're going to have to go through with this one. I'm not looking forward to doing this one because I don't do sort of seafood and shellfish and anything like that. I don't touch it. It's not for me. When you see people walking around the seaside with trays of cockles and mussels and whatever else is you buy, prawns and crab sticks, oh god, it makes my stomach turn. The smell of these is not pleasant for me either. My missus found it quite amusing when I said what video I was doing. She was like, you're going to love that one. Yeah, you're correct. It's horrendous, but we're going to do it, and I've got to touch these in a minute. These are the cockles. The juice has been drained, just so I don't get all, well, I was going to say juiced up fingers, but I'm going to do that anyway, aren't I? But yeah, they look, I don't know what they look like. Well, cockles to everyone, but yeah, to me they look horrific. Same with these mussels, they look just as horrific. Even the tuna that I could actually eat if I was paid a substantial amount of money, even that looks horrific. And in a minute I've got to take this stuff out of the tube and force feed some of these in and make a hook bait ball. So yeah, I'll bring you back when I've done that and I've tied them on the rigs. But you'll see I've got my towel ready. I need to get the sick bucket out of the van and then I'll be back. Well, I've managed to tie one up how I was sort of hoping it was going to do it. I don't know if I actually need the micro ring swivel or whether I could have got away with just a normal rig ring because it hasn't pulled it in, but I was hoping it would keep it separate from the hook, and it has done that. But that, oh my god, that looks horrific. Let's sort of hold it up in the air without it falling. So that's what we're going to be fishing. It stinks. My fingers are absolutely covered in that stuff. I've only tied one. What I'm going to do is I am going to move the old camera stand, put it behind us, and we're going to get one rod out as we go because I can't do 3 hook baits all at once. I'll be sick. So let me put you on the stand and let's get the first rod out. Okay, I've got the left hand rod ready. That's got the cockle on it. Like I say, it looks an aggressive rig. There's no issues with the rig working, and to be honest, I think it will catch a bloody fish. For me, I'm hoping it doesn't because I never want to use it again, but for the viewer request, I hope it does because I'd like to show you a fish on your request. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the left hand rod out first. That's going to sit where it is for an hour if it doesn't go, and then I'm going to do what I normally do is I'll jump it across and move it to the middle, then move it to the right. So each bait has had an hour in each spot to do a fish. That's going to be the plan. So left hand rod is starting with the cockles. Time to get the middle rod out now. That's got the mussels on it. There's 4 mussels in there. I've just dipped it in the edge to test that they do sink. The cockles I've thrown in the edge, they sink as well. So there's 4 mussels in there. Again, aggressively like set rig. The bit of fraying of the knot, I'm not really bothered. I don't think that'll matter. The fish are coming in on the scent and the visual side of that, I think. But yeah, that's going to be the middle rod. And now it's time to get the right hand rod out. That's got the tuna on it. That was the most enjoyable to tie of the 3, and I still didn't enjoy that one, but yeah, that is a nice pile of tuna mushed up in there. Let's get this one out. Let's put you in the usual position of watching the rods, and I can now officially say I'm fishing 3 rods yet again on 3 hook baits I've never used before and I've never caught a carp on. So there's a few times in these viewer requests I've been able to say that, and this is one of those occasions. I'm quite confident all 3 could get a bite, to be honest. I'd like to catch on on all three in this video, that would be really, really cool, because I could say I've caught on mussels, cockles, tuna. Yeah, that's something different you can say to people in future conversations. I've positioned them in the best place I think I could, which is down the back of the bar in the silk pocket, because that's where the sort of natural grubs and bugs and worms and stuff are going to be. So this is a sort of, I don't know, natural kind of bait, I guess. So I thought put it in an area where natural bait would be, to give yourself the best chance of getting a pickup to start with. The rig, even though I've used it very little, the hook holds I have had on it when I've done it in that previous video a few weeks back, yeah, I'm quite confident in that. The reason I've chose that is because I want something I can tie the bait to with the bait floss, because I don't want to risk that mesh bag coming off, because obviously it doesn't dissolve, does it? So it's not safe. If it comes off and the fish swallows it, it won't break down within the fish, whereas the PVA, it's melted before the fish bloody gets hold of it. So I'm trying to do rig safety and use an effective rig at the same time, and an anti-tangle rig. So it's got all three of those properties. The armor mesh stuff, I've never used that before either, and I've got to be honest, first time using it, I found it very user friendly, very easy to use, and I can see why people use it in general for their fishing, especially with crayfish and stuff. I think that's what it's designed for. I'll be using it a lot more now I've had my first try with it. You'll definitely see that in future videos, because I think it's a very good product. Other than that, there isn't a lot I can do other than sit back, watch the rods, keep an eye on the time. I'm going to start it from now, and after an hour, if nothing's happened, they're all coming in and they're all getting stepped along one and all go back out. So 3 hours total. It begins now. I've just brought it off the camera stand for a minute, because we're going to have a little wander to the older temperature gauge, because I don't think it's right. But we're 30 minutes in. Now it's happened as yet. So we've got half an hour left before the rods get switched. But I'm looking at this. This has got to be wrong, hasn't it? 17 degrees. That water is no way 17 degrees. So I don't really know what I'm pressing here. What does this do? 63 Fahrenheit. 70. Light. What does the light do? Oh, it turns the light on and off. Right, so out is 7.1. In, it says 60. Is that right then? Am I being a bit thick here? Because I generally don't know what I'm doing with this, but there's no way that lake can have warmed up from 8 degrees to 17 at its highest point today. There's no way it's come up 9 degrees. That can't be right. I don't know. If anyone can let me know, please, in the comments, because I don't really know what I'm doing with this. On, off, I can work that out. Reset. Right, so what does that do? So that's reset it. In, that must mean in, which is that lead that's laying in the water, and then the out must be what it's out, which is probably 7 degrees out here. So how can that read 16.4 in that bloody water? I don't get it. I don't get it. Sorry if you're shouting at the screen thinking you idiot, that's how it works. I have no idea. So if somebody does know, please let me know, because there'll be others that are looking at that or thinking of buying it and probably in the same situation as me, not knowing how to actually use it. But as it stands, we're half an hour in, no fishes to report. I'm going to put you back on the stand now. Sun's come out, the wind's eased off a little bit, and that's what's made me think, is it the outside temperature because the sun's now on it? Is that what's making it warm up so quick? Because it's shot up like quite a few degrees in the last half an hour. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put you back on the stand now, and let's hope we get our first bite. Cheers all, first one of the video, and we're coming up to the first hour. So after this clip, I'm going to bring all the rods in and we're going to step them along one. So the cockles on the left will become the middle, the mussels on the middle will become the right, and the tuna on the right will become the left. Put them back out again, and we'll give it an hour in the same areas I've fished, just for different baits in that zone, and see if that makes any difference. To be honest, I think any one of these could go off any time. You know, I've got quite a lot of confidence in the rig and the actual hook baits. It's just whether the fish are here and they actually want to have a feed. They've been here this morning, not in the numbers that they were previously that I've been in this peg, but there is still fish out in front of me, so I'm hopeful we can get at least one on this video. But while I'm having my coffee, as always, I'll take the time to say to you lot, thank you for the support you give the channel in whatever way you're supporting me. If you're a subscriber, you support me in the strongest possible way, so thank you very much for that. If you're not a subscriber or you're new to the channel, have a look, consider it. It doesn't cost you nothing. You just press subscribe, that's it, and you're done. If you do subscribe, make sure you press the bell icon as well, then you'll know whenever I release a video. My videos 99% of the time will come out at 6 PM in the evening. So if you don't subscribe, I don't think you can press the bell icon. So check after 6. If there's going to be one, it'll be on. If there's not, maybe there will be tomorrow. Also, you lot that give it the video the hypes and stuff now, that's really doing something. I don't know what, but it is really helping more people discover me. My subs are going up a lot more than normal, and the views are going up as well. So the hype button's doing something. To hype a video, you slide the top comment to the left and there's a load of options that come up. You then press hype the video. That's it, you're done. You get 3 a week, they don't cost you anything. After that, you can then purchase them. Please don't buy them, just wait until the following week and then give the video a hype then, if you wouldn't mind. Also, if you support more than one person or you follow more than one content creator, give 3 content creators 1 a week. It will help everyone evenly then, instead of one person getting all 3. If you don't hype the videos, or you can't because you're on a computer or whatever, maybe give them a thumbs up or a comment every now and then. Again, any interaction really does help the algorithm, and it just pushes it out to more people. So whatever you do, from me honestly, for the support you give the channel, thank you very much. But for now, I'm going to finish this coffee and then we'll get these rods in and get them swapped over. That's all 3 rods in. Just a quick recap, what's going back out: tuna, cockles, mussels. No paste still, nothing like that. They're all going to go back out there. All that's happened is they're going to have swapped area where they was fishing. The left hand rod, I'm aiming at the sort of leaning tree that goes that way. The middle rod, I'm aiming at that one, and the right hand one, I'm aiming at that one. So they're not fished a million miles apart. They're all within 25-30 yards of each other. Just sometimes repositioning works, sometimes it doesn't. Conditions, they look good, you know. They do look good. I think the bloke who's 2 swims down, I believe he's now sort of starting getting his gear sorted and packed away, and he's going to call it a day, I think. There was a chap over there, he's gone. I think there was a chap at the far end of the lake, he's gone. So I think I'm back to having the lake to myself again. I'm half tempted to throw one that way, to be honest. I think the right hand rod we're going to sling one over there just in case the fish are pushed down to that bottom area. Instead of putting all 3 in a line, yeah, we're gonna do that one there, that one at that tree, and then that one over into the corner, and just see if that changes the outcome. Because at the minute, nothing's happened, does it? And we are just technically fishing singles, so it doesn't hurt where I throw them, really. So I'll get the rods back out, and I'll put you back on the stand. The next time you see them, they'll all have moved, and the right-hand one will be fishing down in that corner. Okay, the rods are all back out and sorted. I'm going to show you the right-hand one. It's very, very curled round. Or you might be able to see the tips quite tight and curled round. That's because it's right over. There's a seagull sitting pretty much where I'm fishing. So let me zoom in. So where that seagull is pretty much where this rod is. I'm probably 5 yards this side of the seagull. But along that part of the lake, there is a bar, close-in bar that runs all that way along. I'm wanting to see if the fish are sort of in the gully this side of it, because I wouldn't mind going and fishing one of those 2 swims, fishing down the back of the bar in the silk pocket, if that's where they are. Because where they should be, in front of here, they're not here in the numbers they should be. They are here, they are present, but nowhere near in the volume of numbers that they should be. And I haven't seen anybody get, the chap over there, he didn't get anything. The chap to my left, he's now gone. I did speak to him. He actually did have 2 fish, but he was fishing sort of, like I say, the left side of where the area my left rod is. So we was nowhere near each other, but we've sort of had fish from the same spot. But he's only had 2 and he's been here all day, you know, which that's slow going for here. So they're not that side in numbers either. Haven't seen anything at that shallow end to show me that they're there. So the only place that they could be held up is sort of down in this area. And I thought, do you know what, let's put a rod down there. And I've also, I've got a baiting video involved coming up, and if I could fish one of those 2 pegs down the back of a bar, that's going to make that video a lot easier. Getting the bait in with a spom a lot easier, because it's a lot closer than what it is spomming it out here right the way to the far end. So yeah, I'm information fishing. That right hand rod, I'm trying to pick a fish up, but also some info to tell me that there is fish down there, and then next time we come, we jump along that bank. As for the middle rod, that's gone where the right hand rod originally was fishing. So that tree there, the middle tree that did have the middle rod on, has got nothing on it, and the left hand rod is on the leaning tree now. So all I've done is sacrificed the middle rod and moved it down to there. I've also been busy, so I'm going to show you what I've been up to up here. mixing some bait up. This isn't for here, this is for the long lake. But what we have is 2 loaves of Kingsmill 50/50. You'll see, check it out. Reduced 32p. Ran out of date yesterday. Bargain. I'm sure the carp won't mind at all. So 2 loaves of bread, 2 tins of sweet corn, and I had a kilo of pellets. I've put half a kilo in now, so they sort of soften up. Because I've put some lake water in, as you'll see. So it's a bit mushy. So I want the bread to soak it in and the pellets to soften up a bit. And then the other half a kilo I'm going to put in, so they go in like hard. And then on my way out the gate tonight, I'm going to stop on the long lake and put some bait in a spot. Because when I left the swim up there last time I was in, I said, oh, I'm going to go and make a video on the long lake now. I didn't in the end. I walked round. I've done a bit of marker work in a swim just to find an area that I want, a spot that I wanted to find. And whilst I was doing that, I noticed the fish not anywhere close to where I was thinking they were. And I thought, right, take note. And I thought, do you know what, let's put some bait on and try bait a spot in there. It's an area that sort of gets fished, depending who's here. That's the only way I can put it. I've seen certain people fishing that area before when I've been here. It's a 50/50 gamble. I could put bait in and they could jump on it. It's just how it is, isn't it? You know, take the risk. But I'm going to try bait that spot for the next 3 or 4 trips down here and then jump on it. Because the longer you can leave something, I always think the bigger the hit you get. You might bait an area one day, jump on it the next, hit a fish off it straight away, and that's it. Kills the spot off straight away. Whereas if you can get it going on there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when you actually drop rigs on it, you then get a hit a fish. So I don't know, I guess you're saving it up. It's not always the way. Sometimes you get one and they go, or you get nothing because they've had it and moved on. It's just one of them things. That's why it's called fishing and not catching. If you knew the answers, you wouldn't have to think, would you? But other than that, not a lot to report. We're into the second hour. Rods have been swapped. There isn't much I can do, really. Just enjoy being here. I'm the only one here now. So, yeah, that's it, really. Might talk to these pair of ducks. Yep. Anyway, I'm waffling now, so I'll bring you back if anything happens on the rods or when it's time to swap them over and move them again. Well, I've just had a look at the time and we've got under 10 minutes before these come in and get moved for the final hour. So we're nearly 2 hours into this. Nothing's happened. Putting the right hand rod where I put it, that's not prevailed at all. There's been no twitches, no nothing on that. So there's nothing telling me the fish are down there. Don't really know what to do for the last hour. I mean, has the lake just, I don't know, have they just stopped feeding? I don't know. Where are they? Where have they gone? I mean, we've had fish out of here on both videos I've made prior to this one. I've caught on both videos. I can't see the presentation or what we're fishing with is the reason we're not getting a bite. I just think, I don't know, are they just not feeding now? I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the temperature, actually. I haven't looked at that for a bit. What's happened to that? See, now that's dropped down to 12.2, so it went up to 16.4. Well, it actually went to 17, didn't it? And then we reset it. It went down to 16.4, and now it's down to 12.2. But the outside temperature's also dropped, so I'm still unsure whether that's actually doing what it's meant to be doing. If it is, great. If it isn't, well, not great. But as for these, what we're going to do is, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to give it the 10 minutes or just under that they've got where they are. And then I'm going to bring them in and chuck them back out again on different spots. But I can't see how I can make anything happen. I can't bait up with anything. I don't see putting any paste on the lead. That's not going to benefit me because I'm trying to fish a fishy smelling bait with a nut flavoured paste. I mean, it's not really doing anything, is it? I don't know. I'll bring you back in 10 minutes, most likely, when the rods are all wound in and they're going out for the last time, because, yeah, this ain't looking good. I was feeling quite confident. Like, when they first went out, I thought, yeah, do you know what? This is going to happen. Got to be honest, I'm now veering towards this ain't going to happen. I am going to put the left-hand one over there. I'm going to sort of stand, if I spin around, I've got a bit of a bush behind me, but I'm going to sort of aim it through the gap I've got in the trees here. I'm going to aim it through there and over there, and then we're going to put, I don't know what we're going to do. I'll see you in 10 minutes when I've got a plan. So the rods are all in. They're going to get recast for the final time, and this is the plan. Can't fail. One is going towards the sun before it disappears. The middle one is going towards that seagull. The right hand one is going towards that seagull. So before my sight markers disappear, I'm going to get those rods back out and I'll see you when they're out back on the rest, and then we'll get on with some burning. So I've just put those rods back out. The left hand one that I aimed at the sun is just bounced. The line's not come out the clip, but the line sort of bounced up and down and it set the buzzer off. So I'm going to hit it and just see if there is anything there. And we're in. Wow, and we're in. Can you believe it? That's the mussels. It's coming towards me though. And just like that, we've done it. Wow. Apologies if that lens had some water on. I'm not sure if I've just done that. I've just noticed there's some water on the camera. I'm hoping I've just touched it and it's just got wet now. But what I've done is, you'll see, right hand rod that was out, I've brought it straight in, threw it straight over at the sun. The sun's just disappearing, but thank you, sun, you've caught me a fish, because that was the sight marker. We've got sat in here, nice common in the edge. Yeah, good fish that, I know. Happy days. So thought, let's get that rod back out over there, let's get a bait on it. That was the mussels. So now we've got cockles back on the left where it started temporarily, and the tuna is on the middle. But I'm going to get this fish out, get him on up treated. We're going to have a little look at him and then we're going to get him back. So that is a chunky old common, that. When you look at him, he's probably on the 12-pound mark, something like that. But there's the mussels in that mesh bag. The mesh bag has actually come undone, but it's still done its job. So I'm going to get him treated, unhooked, and we'll get him back. But yeah, that's the biggest fish of the day, and it's, oh, you've got a full belly on you and all, you greedy little bugger, haven't you? Right, let's get him sorted and get him back. Okay, this one's ready to go back. He's been treated. I'm going to say that he is my biggest fish of today, this one. So you're very welcome. So I'm just going to dip the net, let you get your head out. Off he goes. Happy days. So that one fell to the mussels. So now, at the moment, I've got the cockles of fish back over in that spot. But the dilemma I've got is do I now put the mussels back over there, or do I give the cockles a chance over on a spot where I've just caught a fish from? I'm not sure. I know we said an hour each one to step them over, but that's the only spot that's done a fish, and that was pretty much instant, you know. That landed on a fish. Chances are there's more than one there. Really, this tuna rod, sounds mental even saying it, but the tuna rod I should now bring in, and I should probably spin my buzzers around and point them all that way and punch all three over there. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spin my rods around, spin my buzzers around, bring the tuna rod in, bang that over there, and we're going to fish all three tight, aiming at that gap in the clouds there where the sun is. So I'll see you when the rods are all sorted. Okay, all 3 rods are fishing again now. I've moved them around. You'll see they're all pointing in a different way to what they have been all day. The left-hand rod, it has tuna on it, okay? It is fished about 10 yards to the left of where I've just had a bite from. So I've got one fishing to the left of what I'm calling the hot spot in this video. The middle rod is sat right on where I've just had a take from. That's got the cockles on it, okay? Because I put that out there whilst I was playing the fish that I got the bite on the mussels with. I've not moved it. I thought, do you know what? I'm just chucking a lead back on top of possibly a group of fish's head for no reason. You know, although we've had a bite on the mussels, it's another cast I don't need to make. So that's now got cockles on the spot we've just had a bite from on mussels. And the right hand rod, that has the mussels on it, which is fished on the original spot where the left hand rod began the video and has been fished for like the last 2 hours. So I've got the middle rod is on a hot spot, the left and right hand rod is fished either side of an area I've just had a bite from. So I'm hoping I'm maximising my chances of getting another pickup in this video. We know the mussels works. I've caught on mussels. I'd like to get a bite on the cockles and the tuna. I've looked, there is 50 minutes left. So I don't know. That come out of nowhere. That was instant. Like, I'd literally only just set the bobbin, turn round and I see it bounce. The line bounced, the bobbin bleeped, the line hadn't pulled out the clip, and then I just stood down and watched the line jump, and I thought, right, let's put you on the stand and let's just see if there is anything there, because it looks like there is. And sure enough there was, and that's the biggest fish I've had today. I'm pretty sure that is the biggest one. So it just shows sometimes you can't be too dependent on these bloody alarms. You have to watch what's going on with your line, and it was dancing, you know. Even if I pulled into nothing now, I can at least take from that it was a liner, but it's just, I don't know. You're fishing quite a way across an angle, so there's a lot of movement in your line. If you're fishing direct, I think it would have pulled it out the clip and the bobbin would have pulled up tight, but because I'm fishing at an angle, I think it sort of shook its head, and there's a lot of give from me to where the fish is, where it's not registering here. I don't know, maybe not, maybe it's just a finicky bite, but yeah, it was pretty quick. So like I say, 50 minutes left. If we don't catch another fish, well, we don't. I can say I've caught on mussels. I don't really want to have to revisit fishing cockles and tuna again if I can help it, but I don't know. Maybe if I don't catch on this video at some point, I'll have to do it again. But for now, I said there's going to be some burning, and that is correct. So I'm going to get some burning on now, because we've got, like I say, 50 minutes of this video left. About an hour and a half I need to be at the gate. I've got to go put some bait in around the long lake before I do that. So yeah, I'm not going to make it that long without no more food, am I? So let's get some burning on. You'll see I've started to get a few things together. Left the essentials out. The bait that was on the stump is gone in here. If you think I'm taking this smelly fish stuff home with me, not a chance. So that is the mix that's going to be going in the long lake. Put that in there, lovely. So it's bread, corn, mussels, cockles, tuna. That's all going to go in the lake on my way out. We've got half an hour left of the session. Oh, burning, don't forget that, crikey. Right, so we've got 6 little chipolatas on the go. Nice. So I hope they get cooked before I have to leave, because you know me, I like it well burnt. Might be why I don't like the old seafood, fish and that sort of thing, because it's, well, raw, isn't it? I don't do raw. I do burnt, cremated, incinerated, whatever you class it as. You all have your own terms for it. I just like it. Let's have a little wander over and have a look at the water temperature, because now the sun isn't hitting here. Oh wow, yeah, look at that. 9.8. So can the water really warm up and cool down that quick? I don't know. I'm still undecided. I'm hopeful that someone is going to give me the answer on here, so other people get helped as well with it. Like I say, I'm the only one here. We've got half an hour on these rods. The right hand one, that will be the first rod that gets packed away, because it's done the bite on the mussels. We know that they work. The tuna and the cockles, they need to do a bite in half an hour. I think it's a big ask, if I'm honest, a very tall ask. But that sun coming out, it's lovely. Actually, in fact, that might be a nice little shot if I can get one. Not sure how well that's come out, but yeah, that's nice. And it's noticeably warmer this time around. This week here is noticeably warmer. I think it's a good week to be out on the bank. I'm going to get back here tomorrow. I know I can definitely come back here tomorrow. So where we end up, who knows? we might not end up over there now, because like I say, nothing happened over there, as in any line movements or anything to tell me to go there. The only fish I've had from this session is not even in my bloody peg. It's just over there. It's in pretty much the swim where the bloke was fishing earlier that went home. So I don't know. I'm going to get here early in the morning, make a decision, because I've got a few videos to get through. Could possibly have Wednesday here as well, I don't know yet. That'll all depend on tomorrow. So I'm going to keep coming this week as much as possible, get as many of your viewer requests done as possible, before it starts getting a lot busier and a bit more difficult to do it, because as soon as it warms up, this place will fill up, you know. While it's sort of on its way to warming up, I need to make the most of it. But for now, I need to keep an eye on those sausages, make sure they burn to perfection, and I'll most likely bring you back with some burnt sausages, or who knows, another bloody fish. These are coming along nicely, they're not too far off being done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to eat those, and then I'm going to start winding in. You know, it's that time of the day where the fishery is going to be shutting very shortly. I need to get my stuff together and sorted. If I'm honest, I don't see another bite coming. I think I've been fortunate to get the one. And I mean, what kind of a game plan to catch him was that? I know, let's throw it at the sun. Who does that? But when nothing seems to be working logically, you come up with stupid ideas like that, and it's paid off in this one. Now I've put all three at the sun, nothing's bloody happened, is it? But never mind. We're going to have some sausages very shortly. You'll see the end result, and then it'll probably be wind those in, get everything packed away, leave the rod on the spot for as long as possible, and that's it, you know. It's a fail on the cockles and a fail on the tuna, but a win on the mussels. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'll see you shortly with some burnt sausages. And there we are, a sunset, pan of sausages, some forceps and a carp care kit. Yep, I've had worse Mondays. Anyway, I'm going to sit, watch this view while I eat my food, and then unfortunately, yeah, it's going to be time to get those in. Sadly, I can't leave it any longer. I'm down to one rod. I've left the cockles out on the spot that I had a bite from. It's not gone. I've packed one net away. I've got one left. Unhooking mat's still out. Tripod's gone. The water gauge is going to go next. That can be the next thing to pack away. So, look how it's dropped. 9.4. Highs of 16.4 down to 9.4. Now, I've mentioned this 3 or 4 times in the video, so I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but has that water really warmed up 7 degrees and lost 7 degrees in that time? I just can't see it. I just can't see that's, I don't know, working properly. But like I say, I'm going to get that rod in now and sorted and get packed away and do an outro. But again, if anyone can let me know, really would be appreciated. But I will see you when I'm all packed down and it's time to go. You'll see behind me the sun's going down, everything's packed away, that's it. All that's left for me is just to put this bit of bait I've got in the long lake on my way out the gate. But again, thanks to both the viewers for the request. It's been a fun one, and I'm going to redo it in the summer, you know. I think in the summer months when the fish are a lot more active and feeding a bit more harder than they are at the moment, I think every single bait we've put out there today would have worked. Apologies, Mark, the cockle video took so long and it was a bloody blank on that front. The mussels, being perfectly honest, I think I got lucky. I dropped it on a fish's head, it went down and it took it, and that was it. You know, I think that was a lucky capture. As for my suggestion of tuna as the wild card, I think all 3 baits out there stood an equal chance of catching. I think the mussels just got lucky landing on a fish. But in the summer, we're going to give it another go. Like I say, it gives me a bit of time to prepare myself to go through the awful stench and smell again, but I think it'll be a much better outcome next time round. But from me, that's going to be it on this one. Again, thanks to everyone for watching. Don't forget the old thumbs up, subscribe, hype and all that business. And if you're out on the bank yourself, hope you're being lucky, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.